All right, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me all right. My name is Joe Ryder. I wanted to welcome you today to this session from Oracle called Integrated Analytics, Unifying Front and Back Office to Drive Revenue Intelligence. Again, my name is Joe Ryder. I'll be joined by our co-presenters today, Naren Chawla and Blair Bazada, who will introduce themselves at the outset of their content. By quick way of introduction, again, I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia, so I would say good afternoon to those of you joining on the East Coast. Good morning if you happen to be on the West Coast and other parts of the globe, potentially good evening. I Before my current role at Oracle, I led several analytics teams, been with Oracle 23 years from the Brio Hyperion Oracle acquisition. So analytics is near and dear to my heart in terms of my career. So very interested in today's topic and looking forward to our agenda. For today, the agenda, what we have on tap is we're going to talk about why integrated analytics, what is the notion of integrated analytics, specifically talk about a solution that we'll be covering, which is Fusion CX Analytics, the value that brings to our customer base and give you some customer examples, and talk about the notion of bringing together what we call front office and back office applications that might be Oracle sources, might be non-Oracle sources, which we'll talk about. And of course, wrap up in Q&A. So I certainly encourage you all to be interactive throughout the session. If you have questions, please take yourself off mute. Feel free to ask those questions. If you're less comfortable, you may also ask questions within chat, and we'll be monitoring that throughout as well. But we'll have some time baked in at the end to address questions. So I'll get us kicked off here. I think I wanted to anchor us around one common truth, and perhaps the primary reason why we're here today and why we're addressing this topic of integrated analytics. And that is quite simply that enterprise applications were not built for end user reporting and analytics. If you look at this picture, the actual diagram on the bottom left is a data diagram for an ERP system. Actually, if I remember this picture correctly, going back in time, I want to say it might even be J.D. Edwards. But and many of you may recognize this type of diagram, some may not. It's an on-premise notion, but the idea is that you have thousands and thousands of tables for these enterprise applications that were purpose-built for running transactions. They were never really designed for end user reporting and analytics. And so, we need to tackle that notion. It's very difficult in these environments to do that, but it's compounded more so in the cloud world, in that where we had some perfect visibility into some of these tables. And now in the cloud world, we don't have direct access or even to the actual base tables and models within these cloud systems. And sometimes in these cloud applications, we might be dealing with multiple vendors, in this case, Oracle, and the front office, potentially even Salesforce. So the challenge becomes even greater. So today we're going to talk about how Oracle tackles the notion of integrated analytics, how we address this very common challenge in the enterprise space. So I'm going to turn it over to one of our co-presenters, Blair Bazada. Blair, please take over.
Hi, everybody. As Joe said, my name is Blair Bazada. I'm a senior product marketing manager with Oracle Analytics. I've been working with Oracle Fusion CX Analytics for 2 years since we launched the product. So, help bring it to market with Naren, who you'll hear from in a little bit. But I just kind of wanted to set the scene here for, as Joe was mentioning, why integrated analytics, what the challenge is, and, leading into how Oracle can help solve it. So if you'll see the slide here, you can see that the formula for business growth is pretty simple. To grow, companies need to sell more stuff, more products and services, either to new customers or to existing customers. But that growth has gotten complicated. So to grow, businesses are adding sales channels. Most have at least 3, and they want customers to be able to jump between each of them during the buying cycle. They're using an average of 2 different revenue models: traditional one-time sales, subscriptions, usage, consumption pricing, milestone-based billing. And they're also experimenting with new products and services, offering new bundles with flexible configurations, more complex bills of material, and they're giving more people in the business a direct relationship with revenue creation, across every part of the product to cash life cycle. That's a lot of people who are helping to sell, that's product operations, sales and marketing operations, e-commerce, partners, quoting and entitlements, provisioning, billing. So more than ever, businesses are trying to seek more control and visibility into all of those activities that are impacting revenue. So when we talk about revenue transformation, we're talking about transforming the way organizations think about and operate around all revenue generation activities, not just the initial sale. We relied not just on data, but on analytics to provide a full picture of the entire revenue cycle. You'll see an example here of the lead to cash B2B customer journey, that goes from lead to order to cash, all the way through to renewal, starting the cycle all over again. So analytics can help organizations identify who's most likely to convert as a lead, which customers that you have are already primed for upsell or cross-sell, and who's at risk of churn. And historically, it's been really difficult for organizations to perform these analyses that are going to drive those better decisions because everyone is looking at a different view of their part of the revenue engine from within their department. So blended reporting is going to take a ton of IT resources. You're going to pay professionals who have invested time into the integration of these different systems, disparate data sources, the creation of their relevant KPIs and those visualizations, and then training, rollout, maintenance of that cross-departmental reporting. So even with all of those resources, companies are still not getting the insights they need to make timely decisions. And at the end of the day, building it yourself means owning it yourself. So if you are going to build a custom solution, are you prepared to own the development and integration of mobile, strategic scorecards, predictive analytics, those advanced AI and ML capabilities, interactive dashboards, integration of new processes, and operational reporting? All of that is a huge investment. And if you're relying on IT to invent and manage workarounds, business users are unable to use self-service to answer those key business questions on their own time. So they're creating bottlenecks, diverting valuable IT resources, and basically just slowing down the entire process. So that leads us to kind of our big takeaway here is that growth at any cost is no longer sustainable. According to McKinsey, data-driven organizations are 23 times more likely to acquire new customers, 6 times as likely to retain customers, and 19 times as likely to be profitable. We've got some more lovely statistics here. And according to Deloitte, another one of our friends, on average, companies are using more than 16 technology applications for customer data. They're talking different departments with an average of 25 different data sources for generating customer insights. And most often, those solutions don't interact with each other, leading to one of the biggest challenges that organizations today face, consolidating all of this data from all of these different applications and sources into a single solution for their analytics needs. So our definition of revenue intelligence, we borrow a little bit from our friends at Forrester. And we're talking about technologies that are going to leverage buyer signals and interactions to produce those insights that allow go-to-market functions to continuously improve. The head of revenue operations was the fastest growing job title last year, according to LinkedIn. And what they do is oversee all aspects of an organization's revenue generating activities. They're trying to bring together not just with data, sales, marketing, service, subscription, quoting, but also kind of operating as one. So in order to do that, we do need consolidated, unified analytics. And, the numbers do speak for themselves. People who are undertaking a transformation towards revenue intelligence are seeing improved win rates. They're seeing increased net dollar retention by looking at it more holistically. From revenue creation all the way to revenue management, it's easier to manage, it's easier to see kind of that process, those insights more holistically. That brings us to our solution, Oracle Fusion CX Analytics. We've got 5 key tenets here around unifying marketing, sales, and service data for analytics, performing analytics across the entire customer journey, not just little siloed processes, making it possible for business users to collaborate and take action, that kind of self-service capability, so they can perform analyses on their own time and make those best decisions. And then, enriching analyses with machine learning, giving people access to no-code capabilities so they can use those predictive analytics, Um, and fostering that analytics driven business culture. Data driven is kind of table stakes at this point. Analytics driven is empowering all users with that holistic view to take action. And with that, I am actually going to pass control to Naranjala. So Naren, if you'd like to introduce yourself and take it from here.
Thanks a lot, Blair. That's fantastic. I think you did a great job outlining the problem over here. So my name is Naren Chavla. I partner with Blair, and I spoke to probably hundreds of customers like yourself, right? And we see these problems that Blair outlined. So that as a solution, we have created this revenue intelligence platform. So let me walk you guys through what this platform that we've built. And as Blair mentioned, our number one goal is to integrate front office, mid office, and back office. And what do we mean by that? So you have this front-facing applications in terms of marketing automation. Some of you guys probably use Eloqua. We also have a CDP platform, Unity, and then you have sales and service systems. So we bring data from those front office functions, very important for most organization. And then a lot of magic happens in the mid office in terms of CPQ, the quoting process, and creating subscriptions, creating service business. We bring that data as well into the same place. And then finally, we marry the data from the back office, the order management from supply chain, and then invoices and finance data coming from ERP, right? The platform that we've built, we treat Salesforce as a first-class citizen as well. We have a lot of Oracle customers who use Salesforce for their CRM. So if you are actually using Salesforce, this application will behave and work, the way it will behave for, say, Fusion Sales Cloud, the other CRM system. And then we have extensibility to bring other 25 different applications that Blair's talk about, Google Analytics, Adobe, you name it, I guess, right? To bring that data into one place. Now the magic happens is in the center. Our team has spent several years to build a curated data model. So the big chart that Joe showed earlier with 10,000 tables, if I may, right? So since we understand the back office very well, we have our team studies those thousands and thousands of tables, and then they've created analytical star schema model, which is our IP and which is the magic in the product, because we have made it easy in such a way that you can ask any business questions on top of it. The data is analytics friendly, so you can work with large amount of data together. Then we layer in a lot of models and machine learning algorithms on top of it, and then the outcomes. So number one outcome that you're looking for is our ability to look at the entire B2B cycle. So as Blair mentioned, you no longer as a marketing team just look at, let's assume, marketing or sales data, for example. Even for marketing and sales data, a lot of customers have problems over there. But we want you to look at the entire cycle, so you can see that going from marketing to opportunity to quotes to finance, right? You can look at profitability, you can look at loyalty, churn, and so on and so forth. Now, since we have brought all this data into rich data model that I have, we are able to dynamically forecast our revenue. So number one, two different things is it's not only looking at opportunities one within CRM, but we can look at an entire contract, subscription contract that you might have. So we move the needle from just being able to forecast sales wins to actually the revenue that get recognized by the company. Now, since we have this data in one place and it's coming on sort of frequent basis, it's no longer based on some assumptions and drivers we might have about the market, but just actual signals that we're getting. So we can dynamically forecast it very easily. So you can guide your investors, you can plan better. And a few other outcomes I'll talk about you're looking for is being able to optimize your price. And I'll talk about a customer as well who has done that as well. Being able to come up with the right plans from incentive for your sales team. So in such a way that you're not overpaying your salespeople, but at the same time, they're happy and they're not moving from one organization to other organization. And then for marketing, it's attribution. So as Blair mentioned, revenue ops is a fast growing role. I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking about reorging or creating revenue ops. which is frankly it's combination of sales ops, marketing ops, finance ops in one place, so that they so you can actually get aligned on KPIs and work as one team, as one focus team, as opposed to having siloed view of the system. So hopefully that's clear. So just emphasis again, unified data in one place, one source of revenue truth. Now this is exciting, but what about customers? You must be asking, can you give me some good examples of customers that adopted it, right? So this is the slide that talks about out of the box nature of this. You have all these KPIs around it. Now let's talk about customers. So one of our key customer is Badger Daylighting Infrastructure Company. They have innovated in what they call hydrovac machines. So the trucks you see over there, they can actually create ditches and stuff like that for construction projects in few minutes, high pressure water and things like that as well. So they actually used our platform because they wanted to grow their top line revenue. How do they do that? So they serve different markets across US and Canada. They have zero visibility in their pricing. Like, it's all random, people quoting randomly based on, some different incentives, um, being able to improve the utilization and so on and so forth. So then what we did is they bought our product, CX Analytics. They also bought ERP and supply chain analytics. We brought all this together for them, and then we created analytics. Some of the examples are shown over here. So they run all the codes to our system. Then able to look at all the codes and then analyze them in terms of wins and losses. So different charts are on the top are showing you different codes, different regions, different dimensions around it. Because remember, I talked about the revenue model. Because we have this rich revenue model, you can ask any questions around it. At the bottom, it shows the distribution of losses and wins on the left-hand side. It's the losses, right-hand side is the win, so you can figure out which price actually are you losing or winning. On the right, the chart shows you the key price of your product by different regions. So at one glance, the CRO was able to figure out the price elasticity, try to figure out where is underpricing, where you can charge more, and then they were able to improve the pricing and kind of hit their revenue goal. So that's what we mean by revenue intelligence. So much so that they actually, in their investor presentation, they talk about this technology that help them grow. So if you focus on 2024 and beyond, they're looking at data-driven insights using our technology to improve their operational efficiency and margin expansion. And then again, they talk about data-driven decision making. In this case, they want to augment their CPQ pricing engine with our technology so they can do dynamic pricing. And then, as you can see, the pricing is very seasonal, and that's where you need that's where you need in analytics to actually do more dynamic pricing. So that's one good example of it. United Airlines actually is focused on improving their B2B business with agents and so on and so forth. So they have roughly, I believe, 300 plus salespeople. They want to have them use our Sales Cloud. They want to track the revenue cycle that we talked about. And they also want to look at sales performance management. So they want to look at the incentive comp. In this case, how are agents incentivize? Are they under right plans? So they are trying to optimize the risk reward ratio, if I may. So risk is in the sense that we want to make sure that salespeople are happy, and they're able to hit the quotas, most of them, with lower expense cost to the company. One more example, Graham, is industrial manufacturing, that they were our early customers. They didn't have a lot of visibility into their pipe. They couldn't inspect their pipe. They couldn't figure out where to focus. So they actually were our beta customers. They started using our beta product, and they loved it so much that they started using our beta product for their Monday morning meeting. So every Monday, the head of sales, Steve, will actually use our reports to figure out what's happening as business and make decisions. And as soon as we GA'd the product, they just bought it the next day. We GA'd our product. So very successful and very happy customer over there. Another customer we have is in semiconductor, lattice semiconductor. They serve different industries. They sell to Tesla, Samsung, automobile companies, semiconductor companies, Apple, and so on and so forth. In their case, when they win the design, that's where it's like a win for them, and then they'll go into what they call consumption. So, for example, they might sell 1 million chips to Apple, and then Apple will start consuming for their new iPhone and so on and so forth. The problem over there was they might negotiate a contract with Apple based on the assumption that Apple will buy 1 million chips, but actually, when consumption happens, they might consume less. So they might negotiate a price at certain discounts, but actually the real consumption is low. So there was a big leakage of revenue in this case. So being able to bring data from their sales, quotes, and consumption system in one place, they're able to spot this leakage. They also were able to create, looking at the past data using our technology, create the product revenue lifecycle curves, because there are so many different industries and each will have their own curve. So if they introduce a new product, they can actually figure out what to plan for, like how will this uplift happen in this particular product for this particular industry, so they can actually make the right decisions. So these are very vocal, successful customers of ours, having a real impact on their business period over period. So to make it a little bit more real, I have 2 demos for you guys. And then maybe after that, we'll talk about your questions and things like that. So just bear with me. So how does the product look like, right? Now, the product is fantastic. We have broad coverage across all the systems. I haven't seen a product, frankly, out there where you can easily bring data from front and mid office and back office and being able to join it as well, because our team has done that heavy lifting of creating a data model. So if you have a customer dimension sold to customer in this case in your CRM system, and you have sold to customer in ERP system, that automatically gets confirms, or the dimension gets confirmed. So you can actually drop some facts and the query will automatically join for you. So this is one example. We are able to bring create an account 360 very easily. So you're able to look at the leads for your customers. You can look at your open pipe in this case. So for example, if I select a particular account, I can say, what are the leads by different channels, right? I can look at what is my open pipe for that particular customer, right? How much is my historical won and lost revenue for that particular account? What activities happen in terms of marketing sales activity? How many quotes are open for which products, right? What is the monthly recurring revenue month over month for this customer? From supply chain, we'll bring data in terms of returns and orders and so on and so forth. From ERP system, you're looking at bookings, invoices, and revenue, so you can figure out this customer is paying us on time or not, right? Are they happy? So we can look at all the customer SRs together. So with that, you can actually have a full view of your account, and then you can do more analysis, trying to find white spaces, or if you have a meeting with a customer, try to analyze your customer before you go there. You keep on hiring and firing salespeople. When a new salesperson comes, they can look at this tool and figure out what's happening with this account, what can they sell. So direct impact on your revenue. This is another demo around how a manufacturing company, they manufacture generators and solar panels and things like that as well. How they can use our product to actually impact their revenue as well. So in this demo, assume I'm a CRO or a head of sales ops, revenue operation. I'm looking at this dashboard. I'm looking at my recurring revenue, customers, lifetime value, what's my average revenue per user, profit margin, churn, acquisition cost versus lifetime value. So this is amazing. This is a dashboard. If I was a CR, I like to look at every morning, right? So in this demo, I'm looking at the churn. I can see there's a huge churn happening in hardware, right? And I want to analyze why it's happening. So let's go one level deep. And because we have this dimensional model, I can actually go multiple layers deep into the product. So in this case, I'm looking at my customer churn dashboard. I want to find out when do customers churn, which months. Show me the trend, of churn happening in my customers. I can also look at different business models. You keep on experimenting a different model. Which model is leading to churn or not leading to churn, and then which products, for example. So In this case, the big bubble shows you that I have a lot of churn in product type called 550 kilowatt diesel generator. I'm not sure you guys can see that or not, but that's the product type that I'm having a lot of churn. So I want to figure out why is it happening. So again, peeling the layers of onion, because I have this dimensional model, I can go look at the product performance. Now I can look at my entire product performance by different facets again, across different products, different categories. And then I can see that I am actually, my product, which is the 550 kilowatt diesel generator, is not performing well if the duration is 5+ years. And then if you notice at the bottom, it says preventive maintenance package, no. So if the customer doesn't have that maintenance package, they are filing a lot of SRs. I don't want to go too much into it, but ironically, I'm running into the same problem with my dishwasher, where I have a Miley dishwasher and I'm having a problem. And Miley had an option to sell me a preventive maintenance package, which they didn't do it, right? So assuming if in Miley, I can analyze this data and figure out that if the customer has this preventive maintenance package, I see that they're more satisfied, there are low number of SRs into it, right? So then I want to do what if analysis as well. So I find that, hey, this product is actually having issues in terms of performance. I'm a lot of churn happening. What can I do? So what if I create a new package? What if I create the existing diesel generator and add a warranty to it? But then how do I price it? How do I make sure I hit the profit margin? So using this analytics, I can look at my potential scenarios. I can also feed in data from different competitors and figure out at what package price point will I hit my margin goals and profitability goals. So this will be again a direct top line contribution to my revenues. And from this system, you can directly go into transactional system to create the new subscription and execute it. So imagine a large enterprise creating so many products on a regular basis, having been able to look at your data and actually create the right packages, pricing it right, that's phenomenal, I guess, in my view. So that's what I have from a demo perspective. I'll hand it back to Blair to wrap it up. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Darren. So just to sum up, the whole message we're trying to drive home here is that your analytics solution and your core applications are better when they work together. When they're engineered to work together, tested, certified, packaged together, deployed, upgrade, managed together, by a trusted partner and supported together. That ultimately means it's going to cost less altogether. So, got another slide to kind of illustrate, a little bit more what we were talking about earlier on in the presentation around, are you prepared to build, manage, and maintain this all yourself? We've got a nice little chart here that kind of shows, the scale of time and effort, how long does it take to build out those data extracts, those data models, create those reports, and then go ahead and analyze and take action. If this is something that you're creating yourself with an in-house team by kind of cobbling together different solutions, you're spending a lot more time, on the build, on the back end than actually taking action, and creating the positive business impact. So, with our pre-built solution, we've designed it to be able to deploy within weeks. This isn't months, quarters, Lord forbid, even years to get it out the door. This is something that, we can kind of plug and play, bring in, the data that you need, set you up with the KPIs that are most important to your business processes, which is going to leave you more time for analysis and for taking that positive action. So, the native data integration, those fast performing pre-built analytics, those ready to use KPIs, and it's going to stay current with with releases to your Oracle Cloud applications. A lot of times what we hear from customers and prospects is that, oh, they've built something themselves, and then when there's an update to the host application, either to their CRM or to their marketing automation system, that pipeline that they've built no longer works. With Fusion CX Analytics, that's something you don't have to worry about because the pipelines are Oracle managed and maintained, so that when there's an update, to the application, your data is going to stay current. You don't have to worry about anything breaking down. So Naren went through some really great examples of, those use cases and users, like what people are going to get out of it. But a question we hear a lot is, is this for me? Is this something that I can use in my day-to-day role? Whether you are a C-suite executive all the way down to a business analyst. And the answer is yes. We have those kind of overview dashboards that we were looking at where you can get that holistic view of your business or your business unit. But then as we showed kind of in the drill down, you're able to look at, specific business problems and look at the factors leading into them, and then, thus be able to take action to solve those issues when you can identify the root cause by looking at unified analytics. So I know if you guys were joined earlier, you probably saw our little video playing at the front. But we have organizations, hundreds of organizations worldwide that are currently using Fusion Analytics today. So we got some big names on here. We have some fun names like Pokemon. That's my favorite that I always see on this slide. But different use cases, but it's all seeing vast amounts of success across the board by unifying analytics with us. So I am actually going to pass it once more back over to Joe to kind of talk through some options we have for deployment to help you get started.
Thanks, Blair. Appreciate that. Again, I think it's really exciting, this notion of integrated analytics. Hopefully, you've seen the notion of pre-building a lot of those items that you would normally have to do for yourself. I think a really strong case was made for the challenge, even more so with cloud, about how often those applications are being changed and updated and keeping up with those updates. It's exciting proposition that's not only pre-built for Oracle applications, but also in the front office for Salesforce as a source. So anyway, excited about that. We often see a lot of these webcasts that are informational and educational, and then we hop off and there's not anything for you to act on. So we wanted to make sure that we had a couple of offerings here and a call to action that you could take some forward action in terms of exploring this more, or actually even trying it out. And the first one is trying Fusion Analytics for free. We're calling it Analytics Sprint. And basically, it's a way for you to adopt this. It's actually built in-house on your data. And we deliver some out-of-the-box content, which we work with you to define in a workshop session. It's typically 1 week, depending on scope. Sometimes it goes into the second week. And of course, that's on our dime to show you. We've got some information here to link that you can follow as well. I think at the outset, I noticed some prior roles that I filled. My current role is Regional Vice President for our SaaS Cloud Applications business for the travel, transportation, logistics vertical for our strategic accounts. What I would encourage you to do is to reach out to whoever your sales rep is for your Oracle Applications SaaS product set. If you don't know who that is, I guess I'll throw myself on the grenade and say you can reach out to me. It's Joe Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R, so joe.ryder@oracle.com. And I will find out who that is and connect you if necessary. So this Analytics Sprint, a really powerful offering for you to try it out and see it alive on your data. We also have an offering from Oracle Consulting, which is to actually deploy this live in your environment. And it's a fixed cost and a very short, as Blair mentioned, this deploys in weeks kind of environment. And not only do they offer the opportunity to show what this is out of the box in the initiate and adopt phase, but also to extend that application to other data sources. And that might be expanding into other pillars in the cross pillar, number 3 here. It might be integrate if you happen to have EPM in your architecture or application ecosystem, and evolve that to other applications or data sources as well. So again, you can click here if we're going to be linking out or sharing these slides. You can also reach out to my Oracle Consulting representative, which is Matt Amakuchi. And again, if you need to email me, I can provide his information. But this is a really strong offering from Oracle Consulting to say, how can I stand this up in my environment in a really quick fashion at a really low cost and deliver, have a really fast time to value, right? So I'm going to wrap up there, and I want to obviously thank you guys for joining on behalf of Blair and Aaron, but let's open it up for questions here.